Hey, what's up guys? This is FZM Studio. Alright guys, so I'll be doing a quick speed test today between the Huawei P9 and Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. And since I had the Huawei P9 for a limited amount of time, I thought I'll make the most of it and show you guys how it performs compared to the big boys of 2017. So that's right, we've got the S8 Plus in black and the Huawei in white. So once again, it's that yin and yang feeling up in the studio. So let's put them head to head in a speed test. So hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel and let's see how this one goes. 4 gigs of RAM on the S8 Plus with the Exynos A895 chipset, and 3 gigs of RAM on the P9 with the Kirin 955 chipset. $700 phone versus a $300 phone. Is the S8 Plus worth it in terms of speed? Let's find out. Okay, as per usual in my tests, let's kick things off nice and simple with a boot up test and find out which powers on first. Right, let's power them on together and let's see. And we've got the S8 Plus coming in first to the home screen, so that's a clear winner, and any second now the P9 will almost be there. So even with or without the pin lock, the P9 would still be a few seconds slower for powering on, but that's not the main test. Let's fire up the apps. Right, let's kick things off with the first app, the phone dialer. P9 was first on that one. Back to the home screen, let's move on, let's open up the second app, let's try the settings. Once again the P9 was very fast, beating the S8 Plus by at least a half a second. Going into the next app, the Play Store, we can see the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus being faster here. Next up, let's try the next app, which is YouTube. We see the Huawei P9 being faster, S8 Plus was lagging behind slightly. Back to the home screen, moving on, let's try Instagram. So for Instagram we see the S8 Plus loading up the feed faster, then the P9, and 2 different home screens. Interesting. Never mind. Back to the home screen, let's continue and go into the next app, which is Snapchat. A little bit quicker for the S8 Plus. Moving on. Camera. I'd say the same. Very minimal between them. Next up, Chrome. Hands down, the S8 Plus was faster for loading up the browser. Back to the home screen. Let's move on. Going into Netflix. Let's have a look. Wow, exactly the same. Neck and neck. Even the buffering and loading was exactly the same. Okay, cool. Let's try the next app, Mixer. We see the S8 Plus a fraction quicker, very minimal differences here, very fast on both phones, I have to give credit to the P9. Moving on, let's try going into the game launcher, moving into Mario Run. Let's see what we've got here. P9 certainly coming in quicker. And then the S8 Plus, so wow, that's impressive stuff from the Huawei P9. Gotta give credit where credit's due, it was faster for the game. Shazam. Fraction between them, but the P9 loaded up a bit faster. Next up, Boomerang. Very similar stuff. I mean, there was nothing really between them. In terms of the actual photo, there was some lag on the P9. Nothing too noticeable. Very similar stuff. Just Eat. The Samsung once again. I mean, for last year's model, it's definitely keeping up. Let's go into Asphalt 8. An intensive app, so let's see how it handles it. So we've got the S8 Plus a little bit faster. Let's see what can load up quicker. So the S8 Plus is there, and on the P9 we seem to have gone back onto the home screen. Let's find out what's going on, let's reload it. It definitely launched, but there's been some issues. Looks like a bit of a glitch happened. Anyways, the P9 has come on now, so back to the home screen, let's move on. 8-ball pool. Some lag on the P9, must have been after the Asphalt 8 crash, and we've got the S8 Plus coming in first. As you guys can see, some lag for the P9. Moving on. Twitch. A little bit quicker for the S8 Plus. So the P9 is definitely slowing down a little bit. Had a great start, but it's been affected. Into the Google folder, play movies. Once again, the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus is faster. Next app, play games. Very similar stuff, Google Drive. And we've got the Samsung once again, a little bit faster. Moving on to the next test, let's see how well the RAM management is on both devices. Right, let's start the RAM management test by scrolling all the way back to the first couple of apps that we initially launched, and let's see how well the memory is on both the phones. Starting off with YouTube. So we've got 2 refreshes. The S8 Plus was faster to reload, some significant lag on the P9, and we've got a white screen, and okay, we're in now. So some delay there. For 8-ball pool, no refreshes, which is nice to see. The S8 Plus was faster to reload. For Asphalt 8, again the S8 Plus and P9 are good to go, so glad to say no glitches this time round. Moving on, Boomerang. Both the phones have held the photo and Play Store. Good stuff, no refreshes, no reloads. For Mario Run, looks like we've got 2 refreshes. The P9 is good to go, and so was the S8 Plus. We've got 2 different screens, but it's okay. No refreshes for Play Movies. For Mixer, we've got a refresh, and the S8 Plus was faster, but yeah, the P9 was not too bad on that one, to be honest. Moving on, let's try speed test. So the S8 Plus was slightly faster to bring the app back on the screen, but no refreshes. For Play Games, absolutely fine. For Shazam, once again, no refreshes, they're still there, they're on the memory. And amazingly, they're both the same. All the apps that we've tested so far have been exactly the same. For Chrome, the P9 was actually a little bit quicker to reload. For the camera, we've got the S8 Plus popping up the camera faster, and some lag on the P9. So back to the home screen. As you can tell, the touch is a little bit off for the P9, as I mentioned in my previous video. So for the Instagram feed, the S8 Plus was faster, and we're back on the home screen. And if you got the joke, definitely give the video a thumbs up. Alright, back to the home screen. And that concludes the RAM management test. So some very interesting results. Let's move on. Now, if you watched my previous video where the P9 took on the Huawei P10 Plus in a speed test, you'll remember it was exactly the same for the response time on the fingerprint sensor, which means the P9 has got the S8 Plus beat here, simply because the S8 Plus's response time is slower than Huawei's. So that's one up for the P9 in this department. Honestly, I've got to say I'm very impressed by its responsiveness. Now, let's power them both off and see who turns off first. So, as I press the power off button, we can see that, oh, it's actually a tie, they both turned off together. Let's see that once again. Watch carefully, and there, they switched off at the same time. Well, there you go, a surprising result. So, in summary guys, the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus begins proceedings in the boot up department with significantly faster times than the P9, so that's a point here. For the apps test, the Huawei P9 was keeping up for the first half of the apps, but then after that it got a bit glitchy with Asphalt 8 and it appeared to lag a bit more and fell short on the remainder of the apps. But it wasn't bad at all. In fact, perhaps it's fair to say that the S8 Plus isn't as quick as you might think, so fair to say that it's a point each way here. For the RAM management test, every app appeared to be the same on both the phones, which is insane. If you want, go back and watch for yourself. The S8 Plus and P9 held the majority of the apps in memory. The only main difference was the P9 lagging behind to pin the apps back on the screen, which the S8 Plus didn't do. It was a lot faster, but their performance significantly on memory was the same, so a point each way. For the fingerprint speed test, Huawei is on its A game. Even on the P9, which is last year's model, it's a beast in terms of response time, so let's hear that ding. And finally, powering off both devices came out equal, so a final point each way. So a tie, which I really believe is a fair reflection in terms of the speeds that you guys have seen on these tests, but of course from day-to-day general usage the Samsung's touch is superior and its response plus its feedback is much more accurate than the P9's. The P9, as seen in some areas, was laggy and not sensitive enough to my touch. So that's where the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus comes out ahead in this speed test. So there you have it guys, what's your thoughts on this speed test? The S8 Plus nearly got caught out by last year's model, the Huawei P9. That's insane. I mean, I've mentioned it's quite an impressive handset in my previous video, and if you're on a budget, it's one of the best around for value. So guys, hit me up in the comment section below and share your thoughts. I will definitely check them all out, and leave your suggestions for what you want to see next. And yeah guys, I'll be switching up my content, so you'll be seeing some new battery tests, charging tests, and even some camera tests between the latest and greatest phones, so you really don't want to miss it. So smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We're almost at 1k and you could be the difference, my friend. And always guys, hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one. Peace.